evening and welcome to NPR Radio on 90.1 FM. Today we will cover the issue of teen smoking and smoking in general. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? What can be done to maximize the health of society? All this and more, next. Smoking began in 5000 BC and was later introduced to the Europeans by the Indians in the 16th century. The consumption, farming, and exchange of tobacco rapidly spread during this time. The development of farming and newly invented equipment gave rise to the creation of the cigarette. This new product dramatically increased the use of tobacco, and now, some 500 years after its creation, we see cigarettes contributing to over 5 million deaths worldwide each year. So why do people smoke if it has proven to be a harmful habit for so many years? This question is answered in the documentary film Talking Butts, a smoking documentary. In the film, Richard Klein, author of Cigarettes Are Sublime, speaks for all interviewees in support of smoking when he says, "Cigarettes have many positive qualities. They are a source of consolation in times of loss. They give you a sense of completion and satisfaction after certain kinds of accomplishments. People tend to minimize the importance of having a pleasure of smoke, fire, and ash." In her article, Benefits of Smoking, Know the Truth, Temporary Advantages of Smoking, Shreya Deshpande outlines some aspects of smoking that persuade the smoker to be so dependent on this drug. Smoking cigarettes in the morning can help to eliminate the common headache felt after a long day's work. Deshpande also concludes that smoking makes an addicted smoker feel less hungry, helping them maintain a healthy metabolism. Smoking is also relaxing to smokers and helps them clear their minds and eliminate negative thoughts from their brain. Many smokers commonly believe that smoking helps to relieve stress and tension found within their lives. Finally, smokers feel that smoking gives them increased self-esteem and confidence. Smoking makes them appear more classy and approachable. Up next, we will explore the topic of teen smoking, but first, a word from your local station. And welcome back to NPR Radio on 90.1 FM. We will now discuss smoking, specifically teen smoking, from the viewpoint of the anti-smoking individual. The following questions and statements will be addressed in this section of the program. Solving the issue of teenage smoking begins by identifying the cause of an adolescent's first rationale to smoke. Peer pressure is a common misconception when identifying the causes of teenage smoking. In a study completed for the American Journal of Health Behavior, research suggests that smoking among teenagers is generally used as a deliberate social tool used to personal advantage. In other words, adolescents do not smoke because they are forced to, rather they do it to fit in and be accepted by their peers. In Lenny and Enderby's article Blowing in the Wind, a review of teenage smoking, they explain that teenage smoking also occurs from family history of smoking and curiosity about the drug. Secondhand smoke can negatively affect family members both physically and emotionally, causing them to follow in their relatives' footsteps and become chain smokers. Despite tobacco advertisement restrictions, teenagers are still influenced by commercials and magazine advertisements. These methods of advertisement pique adolescent interest in tobacco, resulting in experimentation with the harmful drug. Intellect is an asset that plays a significant role in the success of an individual. While many studies in the past show a pattern between people with lower intelligent quotient scores developing the habit of cigarette smoking, no study until the Sheba Medical Centers understood whether IQ scores of siblings discordant for smoking and of adolescents who began smoking between the ages 18 through 21 years were lower than the scores of non-smoking individuals. The study of male adolescent Israeli military recruits by the Sheba Medical Center's Department of Psychiatry proves that those who smoke have lower IQ scores than the non-smoking individuals. The data from this study informs adolescents that smoking reduces cognitive ability. The facts also prove that smoking cigarettes contributes to one's struggle to make informed decisions and choices within their lives. Most adult smokers begin their habit as teenagers, but is there really an accurate correlation between teen and adult smoking? In the article Defining Cigarette Smoking Status in Young Adults, a comparison on adolescent versus adult measures, the cigarette usage of adolescents and adults is evaluated via the New Jersey Tobacco Survey. While the study concludes that teen smoking produces higher current cigarette usage than the adult group, the data was insufficient in finding an accurate long-term correlation between both groups of smokers. Further studies will be completed and reported by NPR in the upcoming months on this topic. Stay tuned. Although the legal smoking age is 18, teenagers under the legal limit still manage to smoke cigarettes. But how? Obviously, teens can ask their older peers to buy cigarettes for them, but many stores sell cigarettes without asking for customer identification. In an article from the magazine Pediatrics, Caroline Finchtenberg and Stanton Glantz analyzed the effectiveness of smoking laws against teenagers to prove that restrictions in our society have no apparent impact on the teen population. Since 80% of smokers start smoking before the age of 18, a great deal of blame for teen smoking should be thrown onto the merchants who sell cigarettes to underage buyers. This article proves that laws must be enforced and tobacco control companies must find prevention methods that work in order to stop teen smoking. While a dark cloud covers the controversy of teen smoking, light can be shed on specific programs that strive to reduce teenage cigarette usage. Most believe that discipline is the key factor in reducing adolescent smoking in schools. After a study of Western Australian schools, Greg Hamilton and other researchers come to the consensus that smoking rates were lower at schools with counseling and disciplinary measures than those schools who use discipline-only tactics. This study of teenage smoking in Australia could pay major dividends to schools across the world. By creating specific counseling and educational programs tailored toward adolescents who develop an attachment to nicotine, increased smoking will take a hit and begin to decline. While these programs and our schooling systems can help slowly crack the global issue of teenage smoking, an excise tax on cigarettes can help to rapidly reduce consumption. Major tobacco companies like Philip Morris agree that increased taxation will significantly reduce the consumption of their product. In a disclosed document from a tobacco lawsuit, the company said, "It is clear that price has a pronounced effect on the smoking prevalence of teenagers and that the goals of reducing teenage smoking and balancing the budget would both be served by increasing the federal excise tax on cigarettes." Those involved with the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids strive to prove to society that taxes can reduce smoking so that citizens will vote on the necessary legislation to increase the excise tax and curb youth cigarette smoking. According to the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, if prices were 10% higher, 12 to 17-year-old youth smoking would be 11.9% lower. In the end, an excise tax is the logical solution to decrease teenage smoking rates and maximize the health of society, as most teenagers are unable to pay for cigarettes priced at exorbitant amounts. That concludes our story of the day here on NPR Radio. We thank you for listening and hope this story gives you new insight on the issue of smoking from both sides of the matter. From all of us at NPR, I'm John Locker saying so long.